Hey everyone, welcome back to Silverrun Forest for the next episode in our Let's Play series. So our sheep are now producing a fairly decent amount of wool. We've got about 2,500 litres in total from the two pastures. The spinnery requires 2,880 litres per month to keep that into full production. So we'll probably leave this a little bit more until we get a bit more wool, and we are producing around about 3,000 litres per month from the sheep before we get the spinnery. So we're still not at a point where we actually need the spinnery, so fabric's not a requirement just yet. So we've still got a little bit of time for that. So it'll probably be another month or two before we look to get the spinnery. So what we're going to do today is, first thing, we need to get some wood up to the old sawmill. So beyond the pasture there, we're going to continue cutting the trees down, clearing a pathway down to the grass area, so then we can put a track in to access the grass field, which will sometime before the end of this year or before October. We'll plough in 2 fields and then get that crops planted. So first thing we need to do is buy a new logging trailer, as we sold ours last time and we currently don't have one. So we go forestry equipment. I've got a few different ones installed. I've got a nice cheap one there, the LT699, but I don't think that's going to be quite suitable with the current setup, with the bunks on that one. The one I'm kind of looking towards is the we've got the logger, which has got 2 bunks on. We've got the base game on, the Schwarzmuller, which we can change the options on, which I've not actually used it. I know this is more of a European style trailer, I think, than a US type one. So the one I think I'm going to give a go is the TLX X52 logger from 82 Studio. Not actually ever tried this particular trailer, so I've no idea what it's like. I thought we'd give it a go. And we'll keep everything the same. I'm going to actually buy this one because we are making a fair amount of money, and we do have quite a lot of products on hand we can sell. So we've still got loads of metal up at the iron furnace. We've got pallets of barrels and buckets now being produced. We've got tables and chairs. We've also still got the flooring factory producing pallets, as well as the old sawmill as well, so prefab walls. We've got quite a few of those up there, so we're not in any desperate need for money just yet. So it's not something we need to worry about overly. So we can start buying a bit more forestry equipment as and when we need it. As I say, we do need to top up the old sawmill because that is running low, and there's only a few thousand litres left in. As last time we topped that up, we didn't fully top it up. So if we just park this up over the side, see about getting these 6-metre logs loaded up first, and we'll get these up to the old sawmill to top that up. Last log we'll put on, and then we'll get these up to the old sawmill. What I probably will do with the next lot of trees we cut is do 9 metres, because I think they'll work a lot better on this trailer with 2 stacks of 9s rather than the 6s, because it does leave a bit of wasted space in between. So we'll try 9s for the next load, as we're just taking up to the sawmill anyway. It doesn't really matter too much about the length. We'll get that switched off. So yeah, we'll get this load up to the old sawmill just so that can continue working while we then cut the rest of the trees. Yeah, so we'll get this stack into the mill pond. If we reverse him, we might be able to get both to float off the trailer, so we don't have to sit and wait. I'll just check as well just how much this takes us up to, because there's not a huge amount on this trailer. So we'll get these last few logs off and then we'll head back down to the farm area and we can continue cutting trees to get that path cleared down to the grass field area. Right, so the next load of trees we'll cut will stick to 9 meters. We'll give 9 meters a try and see how well they fit on the trailer. So we'll just check this is on 9. And we'll get this started. So we'll clear down. I've marked quite a few of the trees we'll take out up. We've got a nice clearing here down to the stream area, so we kind of want to work in that direction. So I'm going to take out probably the bigger trees and leave the smaller ones in, and then clear our way down and then try and get a bridge in across the stream so we can access the grass field from this end rather than going all the way around. So we'll get all this cleared and say try 9s on this trailer. Fit as many as we can to take up to the old sawmill. And we can get that filled up, and then anything else after that we can put into containers. Okay, so we've cleared quite a few trees there, and that should give us enough space to get down to the stream. So I'm going to just clear out some of these smaller trees just so we can actually see the area a little bit better. I don't think we can get rid of those ones with the chainsaw. And we should be able to get rid of this one. So the stream's just here and we want to kind of go across somewhere around this way. It's a little bit difficult to see with all the bushes and underbrush, trying to work out the best way to come. So I think if we come somewhere at the end of the pasture with the track and then bring it across this way, so it's kind of avoiding the steepest section. So we'll probably come from here down the side of the pasture and then probably round a bit where that rock is. Over this way, and so we want to probably looking to cross somewhere here. So if we go decoration, I've got the bridge set pack and also the bridge pack, I think it is. One's called bridge set, one's called bridge pack. There's quite a few different options and a few different bridges. But there are some nice wooden ones. So this is from the bridge pack. So I think that should fit in nice, and maybe go for the slightly longer one. That one a bit too long. That one's a little bit too short. So we will have to do some landscaping to raise up the ground. So if we put that in, I'm going to disable the ground. I think if we put that in there, that kind of the right angle. Do we want to bring it round a little bit more? I think that kind of works where the stream is. So if we go landscaping, painting, and then we'll just try and kind of work out where the track's going to go to that. We want to bring it probably a little bit more around. We may need to just flatten this down a little bit. And then bring it across this way. So that'll be our track. That'll go through to this bridge. So we will need to landscape that a little bit just to get it to raised up. So we've got sculpting, and we'll try and see how well we can do this to raise up that bit. So it's nice and level with the actual bridge. We then try and flatten to that. That might need to come up just a touch more. I'll flatten that round a bit there just so the lead up's quite flat. And then we'll smooth that out a little bit. So we may have to just play around with this as we go a little bit more and clear more of the area, but it doesn't look too bad for a start. We might need to come just a little bit more there and smooth that down. Alright, so I've been playing around with the landscaping tools, trying to get this bridge as best as I can, and I kind of think I've got to that point. So it's not too bad here. It's as close as I'm probably going to get it, both sides, which was a lot of fiddling around with landscaping tools. I did at one point get a nice level, but the middle section of the land just underneath the bridge, to get it flush, I could not get it to raise or lower. It just would not level out, do anything. So I had the bright idea of removing the bridge and thinking I can now replace it. Now I've got the height I need to get to. So when I went to then replace the bridge sat on top of the level area, so it was raised up a lot more, so then I had to re-level it all again, so that didn't quite work. But it's in there, it works, it gets us over this little stream. I just did need to do a little bit more tidying up with the landscaping, but we are running low on money, so we'll leave it as it is for now. So we do have a rock here that needs breaking up, so we'll get the massey over. I've already broken up a couple of rocks that were in the path that end and got the stones out of the way, so we'll need to break up this one. This tree as well will need to come out, and then I've just painted the track down to the edge of the grass field here. So what we'll probably do is continue this along this edge just up to where the second field will be. So once we've got the field divide and we've split this into two, we can do that. The grass has fully regrown as well, so before we plough in any field, I think it will be worth getting a second cut on it, just so we're not actually wasting the grass. But the track's in, so we can now access this side from our farm area without going all the way around the road. I do have all the 9-metre logs apart from these few here loaded up, so we'll get these up to the old sawmill. There's a few offcuts as well. These ones are a bit shorter than 9s. The 9s aren't perfect for this trailer, they're a little bit too long. And this trailer as well, it's a little bit odd how the bunks are laid out, because like they're not all the same size. So this one in the middle is quite short, so probably only take about 4-metre logs maximum. And then this one's a lot longer on the back, which will probably take 6s, 7s. And then the one on the front is then a different size again, which probably fit 5s, 4 or 5s on that one. So I may sell this trailer and get the FDR logging one I usually use, which can fit 3 nice stacks of 6-metre logs on fairly easy. And I can't get into my truck. So I've dropped those logs off at the sawmill. We're up to about 80,000 litres now in wood, so that should keep that going for a little bit. So we'll try and get another load up there. But as I said, I'm going to sell this trailer. I say it works, but it's not kind of how I want it to be. So if I actually go to the right trigger first would help. Where's the workshop trigger? So we are going to lose a little bit on this. We'll repaint it so they can get it nice and fresh again. Well, it does take us back up to 80,000. And we're going to buy, I said, the FDR Logomon, which stupidly comes under forestry machines. So we've got the short gen, or the short log trailer gen 2. This is a slightly modified one. I've modified myself. This is not one of the new ones. It does wobble around a little bit, but it does work really well. So I'm going to buy that one instead, and hopefully if we go to farmlands, I don't know if we'll have enough money. We may need to go and sell some stuff to buy farmland 37. Yeah, 66,000. So we're just a little bit short on being able to purchase that. And that means then we can continue clearing down this area to get the rest of the track in. So we need to go and make a little bit of money. So we do have more than enough pallets left up the iron furnace. We don't get stuck on the new trailer. So we could go up to the iron furnace and load up another 20 pallets of metal and get those sold. That should give us way more money than we need. Oh, there's a few pallets of furniture, tables. So we've got some, I think 2 pallets of tables, 2 pallets of chairs. The last of the pallets that are the wood turner we could load up as well. And I think we do also have a couple of pallets of buckets and barrels. So as we're right down here anyway, we may as well load those up first and then get those sold, which should give us enough money. So if we go to the barrel factory first, and then we'll go around to the other productions we've got down here. I'm not sure how well we're going to get around here to load up these. So yeah, 2 pallets of each. So 2 pallets of buckets and 2 pallets of barrels. I don't think there's anything else in there that will spawn. We may have another pallet of buckets come through. 1 more pallet of barrels as well. It's a bit tight around here. Alright, so we've got quite a lot of different stuff on. We've got buckets, barrels, tables, chairs, bowls, pepper grinders, staircase railings. So we'll just swing by the flooring factory and get any flooring tiles we can get. Get these loaded up as well. Then we can get all this sold. That should give us more than enough money for the land. There's 1 more pallet. I think we should be able to squeeze that one on if we can get close enough to it. The tables, chairs, buckets and barrels are required further down the line for the roller coaster, so we can take those there. And then anything else we'll take to the Silverrun Market. So we don't need much, we only need, what, 17,000 or so. As the roller coaster's taken quite a lot of stuff. I don't think it's going to take any more, so that gives us enough money anyway for what we need. We've got a few buckets left, flooring tiles and pepper grinders, and the bowls as well. I'll take these over to the Silverrun Market. Last few pallets, so we've got 120,000, 118, 148. So if we just park this up here, And then we'll jump back into the Volvo. And then we'll go into here and we can then purchase Farmland 37. So that leaves us with 51,000. I don't think we'll probably look to get 29 at some point, and then maybe 34 as well. 28 is obviously quite a big area. That's a little bit more expensive. But now we've got that, we can continue cutting down the trees, going over the other side. And what I'll probably do, I'll drag them out onto the actual grass area so it'll be easier to load them up. At least we get to try our bridge out. First crossing on our new bridge. Hopefully it'll take the weight of the Volvo, which is what, 41.2 tons. Made from the finest Silverrun wood. Oh yeah, so we'll continue cutting these trees down now. I'll probably take out just the largest of the trees, leaving the smaller ones, and then we'll replant this area. Okay, so cleared quite a few trees from our new land, and also from the bit around the pond that we owned previously. So we do have quite a nice stack of 6-metre logs, and during the time we was doing that, we've had a great demand pop up for wood at the container warehouse. Not quite as much as the previous one, but I think it may still be worth taking advantage of. So I've got 2 more 6-metre containers, the 20-foot containers. So we can start loading those up. I've loaded up the last of the 9-metre logs that we had and some of the offcuts from the upper section. So they're onto our log trailer. So we'll take all these. I've also put the 6-metre spruce, which I don't want to put in the container, and the 6-metre standard pine on here as well. So I've separated those out. So all we've got left now for the container is the lodgepole pine and the penderosa pine. So what I'm going to try and do with this one is just put one type. Last time we only put these trees in. I just want to try and fill one up with the lodgepole pine and one up with the penderosa pine, and then see what the difference is between those 2 containers with the 2 different tree types. So we've got our front loader on here. I've taken the front container off. I've got the forks on, so once we've loaded the one container that's on the trailer, we'll drop on the other trailer container and then get that loaded up. So we'll probably put the penderosa pine into the first container, and then we'll do the second one with lodgepole pine. We should have more than enough to fill probably 3, almost 4 containers. So we may get another 2 containers after we fill these 2 and sell the rest. And there's still quite a lot of trees as well. There's another big one there. There's a few more big ones just down that way we could take out. And there's still loads more up there. There's just so many trees still. So yeah, we'll get both of these containers filled, get these sold, see if there's a difference between each one, or whether it is just these particular trees. It doesn't matter if you mix match. And then it should give us a nice amount of money then for potentially investing in some more forestry equipment. I'd like to get a better loader, loading the trees and using the front loader, because it can pick up multiple logs, although it does struggle and obviously it is very slow, only being able to do one log at a time. So it would be nice to get something that we can pick up multiple logs in one go and help speed up our loading process. Yeah, so we've got both containers filled. So we've got the Penderosa pine in the front one and then the lodgepole pine in the back one. For some reason these containers really do not want to lock onto this trailer. No idea why they're playing up so much, but they're bouncing around, jumping up and down. They're just doing everything they shouldn't be doing. I've not had this problem before with them, but yeah, don't know why. Tried relocking them down, putting them back on, and they just don't seem to want to sit nicely. So that's the first one, 59,159 for the Penderosa pine, and then 59,159 for the actual lodgepole pine. So it made no difference whatsoever, the fact that they were separated. So it seems like containerized, the new types of trees, it doesn't matter which one's which, so you can mix and match those two trees. It just seems like the spruce and pine that makes the biggest difference if you put those in, which is a bit interesting, because if you sell Penderosa pine and lodgepole pine separately at the standard sell points, you do get more for the one than the other. We have got quite a big massive pile now of wood chips, so potentially look to get a wheel loader and a large bucket so we can start loading this up into a trailer and start selling this. So up to 162,000. I don't know how much the wheel loaders are. I'd like to get one of the new Volvos to try out. So we've got wheel loaders. So the smaller one is the 252,000 and 304 for the larger 180, which is a big old beast. In terms of size, that one's obviously about 8 ton heavier. I think maybe if we're just going to be using it for loading up wood chips and smaller logs, but I think then we may be better off getting the extra 52,000, getting the larger one. Well, I'm going to go and get 2 more containers loaded up, because I think we've got enough trees cut to fill 2 more. We'll get those sold. That should give us another 100,000 and take us up to 262, or just around about 260. So we won't be far off then being able to get the wheel loader. We'll just need a little bit extra then for a bucket, and we'll have to get a decent tipper trailer to load the wood chips in, and we can start selling those as well. Okay, so we've got another 2 full container loads, and there's still quite a big stack of trees left. I don't think there's quite enough to fill another 2, but there's definitely enough to fill at least another 1 container. We'll probably leave those now until next time, and I'll probably try and get a few more of the trees cut down as well. So it's another 59,159 for each of those. Takes up to 272,974. Okay, so I've got another container filled. We've still got a few 6-meter logs. I don't think there's quite enough for a second container in this trip, so we've got a few bits over here and there. We've got a stack of the offcuts from the end, so these are all shorter pieces. I'll probably load all these up onto our log trailer and take these up to the old sawmill. And then we've got a few deadwood trees here which we need to get rid of. So yeah, this one container should give us enough to get the wheel loader, and then we can get a bucket for that. We may also get the big log fork and try that. Give that a try. I'm not a huge fan of loading trailers with wheel loaders, but as it's a new one to the game with some new log forks and stuff for it, then we'll give it a go. So we're going to get this one sold, so then we can get the wheel loader, and then we'll leave it there for today. So we've made quite a bit of progress, cleaving a few more trees, earning a lot of money, and get some new equipment as well. A few more items delivered to the roller coaster as well that requires, so that's still progressing. So we'll just stop as we're going past. We'll just quickly check on how it is on the current stage. So we've delivered products that it doesn't currently need. So it's got everything it needs for the current step, so it'll continue working through those. So it'll probably take another month or so to get through that stage, and then it'll move on. But it is coming along. So yeah, we'll go and get this one sold, and then we can finish off with buying the new wheel loader. Okay, so let's get this one sold. There's another 59,159. At least this container is very consistent with the pricing. So we'll head back now to the store and we'll buy the new wheel loader. Okay, so down at Eddie's, switch that off. So we'll go and get the new wheel loader. Hopefully we've got enough to actually buy the bucket as well. We still need to get a trailer actually, so it might be does stone as well and iron ore, so we could potentially use that one as well to load up the iron ore. That's 23,000, so not cheap, and we could just about afford that one. Log grab, we've got the unloading grapple. So these more designed, as I say, it's an unloading grapple, more for picking up the stack of logs off the lorry rather than loading with them. We'll go with the big bucket. We'll get that. It does leave us with very little money, but we are now the proud owners of a nice big Volvo wheel loader. So the LH180, which does look very, very nice. So yeah, I think next time what we'll probably do is try and get the trailer so we can get the wood chips loaded up and we can get those sold. We'll actually check when the best time of the year is to actually sell those wood chips, as I don't know, yeah, price fluctuation, so that may be a job for January, as it's not the best price at the moment. Yeah, we are quite way down. So yeah, maybe we shouldn't have bought the bucket and the wheel loader just yet. But we've got it, so we can use it up at the iron mine if need be. So yeah, there we go, we've got our new wheel loader. So we'll leave this episode here. So we'll continue next time with clearing the land, trying to get the grass cut as well, and possibly the new fields in if we get time. Because we are going to need to get the planting done before October. And I think next month, if we want to do canola. Yeah, so next month is the last month we can do canola. October for wheat and barley. I'm not overly fussed about doing canola, so I think it's more probably we'll do the planting in October and get some more barley into one of the new fields, and then possibly get a different crop into this one we had barley in last time, so we can get a bit of rotation on that. We've also got this one as well, which I'm still considering putting as the grass field. I think we should get enough grass off this for the sheep. Really do appreciate that. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, then please do consider subscribing. We've got more Farm Simulator 22 content coming up with this series, the time-lapse series, and also the live streams. So again, a big thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.